Hey y'all! So last weekend we went to Disney Springs with some of our friends, and you can watch that full video. I'll link it in the description. And we went to Morimoto Asia and tried that out. So here is my gluten-free review of Morimoto Asia. As always, I am gluten intolerant, so I try to do my best to avoid gluten. If there's cross-contamination, it doesn't really affect me. So if you have celiac or a severe allergy, I would really recommend talking with a chef or a manager at every restaurant you go to, not just here. I try to do my best to provide these reviews for y'all, but you need to know what works for you and make sure that you feel completely comfortable with what you're ordering. Additionally, because of COVID-19, some of the menu offerings weren't offered. I've seen older versions of their menu online and there were a lot more options. So I know this was more just a smaller menu because of everything that's going on with COVID-19. And I will definitely go back and try after and when hopefully they have a full menu again. But I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a smaller menu that they're offering right now. Morimoto Asia is located in Disney Springs in the landing section of Disney Springs. If you're at Sprinkles and you go across the bridge, Morimoto Asia will be right there on your left. It is the big building with Springs Bottling Company across the top. I'm sure you've seen it from the parking garage because I know that's like the main thing you see from the parking garage. So it's that building. Because of COVID-19, we've been trying really hard to only eat outside at restaurants. But at Morimoto Asia, they were not seating their outside section of the restaurant. So we sat at a booth inside. They were doing a really good job of making sure that there were empty tables in between the tables that guests were seated at and that we were all socially distanced. This restaurant is also huge. I think it's like 3 stories tall and there's these beautiful chandeliers. So I definitely really felt that there was a lot of air coming through and I felt safe dining there. When we checked in, they actually did not ask if there were any allergies in our party, which is really odd for restaurants that are on Disney property. I know Morimoto Asia is not owned by Disney, but it's still on Disney property, and all of the restaurants so far that I've been to ask about that. However, when we were seated, the waiter did ask if there were any allergies, and I said gluten, and then he said okay and walked away. There was no explanation of these are the items on the menu that can be made gluten-free. There was no offering to, get a manager or the chef, which I don't expect them to do that, but I expect them to at least say something about the allergy. The menu was online. They had QR codes for us to scan, and there were just asterisks next to the gluten-free items, but it didn't say anywhere that they were gluten-free. The only reason I knew is that they were gluten-free is because the menu board out front actually had a little symbol that denoted that they were gluten-free. So I just cross-referenced with that menu board that I had taken a video of in order to figure out which items were gluten-free. I didn't get any sushi because I couldn't tell which of them were gluten-free. They had asterisks, some of them did, but that was for raw fish. So it was just really confusing, honestly, to figure out what was gluten-free and what I could have. The gluten-free offerings on the menu for an appetizer was edamame. For the noodles and rice entree section, the options were the Morimoto Gomoko fried rice and the Morimoto bibimbap, which is that dish that my friend Scott got where they cooked it on the 400-degree bowl. So that was actually really cool that they came tableside and cooked that dish right in front of us. And then you could get the wok sauteed Chinese vegetables. And those are the only items on the menu that were gluten-free. There might have been some sushi, but I didn't ask because I'm not a huge fish fan. But if you're wanting to get sushi, I would ask to speak with a chef or with a manager and see if there are any sushi that can be made gluten-free. When you order, make sure to let them know that you're gluten-free because a lot of times the dishes have to be cooked in a different sauce or no sauce because the soy sauce is not gluten-free. I got the Morimoto Gomoku fried rice, which I'm not a huge shrimp fan, so I got it without the shrimp. It did not come with any sauce because it was gluten-free, so it was a little bland. My friend got the non-gluten-free version of it, and she tried mine, and she said that hers was so much better. Our waiter did bring me some gluten-free soy sauce about halfway through the meal, and that improved the dish a whole lot. So make sure to ask for gluten-free soy sauce with your dish so that you can have that up front and add a little more flavor to your dish. Overall, I was not hugely impressed with Morimoto Asia and their gluten-free options. The restaurant is beautiful, the chandeliers are gorgeous, But right now, with their limited menu, there just weren't a ton of options. Once their menu goes back to having the full offerings, I'll go back and see what items on their menu can be made gluten-free with their full menu, and hopefully it's more options, because I'd love to give them a good review. I've always wanted to go there, and it's just a really cool restaurant in Disney Springs. My dish was okay. It was not worth the money. It was $31, and I can get fried rice for a whole lot cheaper somewhere else. It was just not worth it, in my opinion. My friend that got the non-gluten-free version, she said hers was definitely worth the money, but I think also me not liking shrimp had something to do with it, so I lost some of the value of it by not having shrimp in it. As always, be sure to visit my website for the full written gluten-free review of Morimoto Asia, as well as Morimoto Asia's gluten-free menu. I also have other gluten-free menus and allergy menus for other Disney restaurants, as well as other reviews that I've written for other Disney restaurants. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, wear your mask, wash your hands, be safe, and we'll see you later.